Welcome back. This is You Just Freestyled, and today we'll be talking about filler words based off of what we did in that last episode, which was actually a few different topics that then I can build off videos as they just kind of fit where I'm feeling at the moment. And I'm probably still going to have videos where I get like really divergent so that I can kind of just express a bunch of ideas that are on my mind and then go back in depth and talk about them in more specialized or up close terms. Also, if you're wondering where I'm getting a lot of the terminology for this stuff, it's been a lot of it has been through the re-exploration of Joe Dispenza's work. So if you are like, where are you getting neural maps, neural networks, neuroplasticity, where are you getting your usage of these terms from? You can check out Joe Dispenza's work, and through Joe Dispenza's work, you can also see where he himself has been inspired, created, and or built on these terms and phrases and ideology. So filler words are a conscious or unconscious way of filling in space between a bar. Some of the most popular ones that I've come across are coming off the head. This is a freestyle. I'm coming down, and I don't know, which is normally possibly being said the person really doesn't know what to say, but also I don't know. So it becomes a way of filler, but also a way of admitting that they're not necessarily sure of what it is that they're doing in the moment. And in my personal experience, a lot of filler words evolve out of the first attempt to freestyle, or first attempts even, because I don't know was a filler phrase that I kept returning back to often. Like, I literally wouldn't know what to say, so I would just continuously, I might get 30 seconds in, I don't know. I might get 2-3 bars in, I don't know. And as you continue to practice, the filler words often become artifacts of your particular style of rap. It's not just words. You can also consider phrases, ad-libs, which is similar to like the yos and yas and ahs, which you would use as a vocal form of matching up to a beat, gestures, all is filler, which ultimately the idea of it is, to me, possibly not to everyone, resetting, centering yourself, or continuing your interaction with the rap or instrumental until the next set of lines flows from you. Flows can also take precedence over the words themselves, speaking of flow. In this case, someone speeding up into a triplet or slowing down into a very relaxed and slow type of rap pattern is a type of filler. And it normally happens possibly consciously or subconsciously when they fall into a comfortable pattern, or when they find themselves losing their place in the beat, which could be because the beat is very unfamiliar to them. They're used to like rapping over what you might deem as a West Coast type beat, and they're rapping over a boom bap, a boom bap New York type beat. And the creation of the filler words, phrases, sounds, or in this case flow, allows for them to create a comfortable and familiar space even within the instrumental, because we are still instruments in and of ourselves, and we are harmonizing, meshing with, matching up with the other instrumentals that are being termed as the beat. This also counts when you're working with DJs, beatboxers, other rappers, and especially when you're doing more or fuller improvisation of your freestyle in the moment. This can still happen while you're rapping or written. This can happen while you're just coming off the head or coming off the dome. It's literally the idea of the filler makes it easier for you to find your place, which then can lead to further improvisation where you're not necessarily using filler words as much at all, or even thinking, which sometimes also happens. It's just the words are literally flowing from you. Instrumentals as well as locations can also be a type of filler. locations because of associative memory, also instrumentals because of associative memory, whether it be through the rapper building off the previously established melodies of the beat or songs associated with the instrumental, using callbacks or allusions by referring popular lines, or the location itself sparking some kind of feeling in you, such as you're around people that you rap with often. They're often. If they're with me and you're with them, then they're oppen. But it's you're around them often, so there might be certain lines or certain flows that you have built into your memory or built into your body that you tend to fly to when you're around them, because you know it'll incite some kind of reaction from them. Like, you rap anime bars when you're around your friends who like to rap about anime. You rap car bars when you're around your friends who like to rap about cars. You, et cetera, et cetera. You know what I mean? And it might not even be something that you consciously do. It might just literally be that you've done it so much or experienced it so much in this group of rappers, and it feels good to get that feedback if that's what you're looking for, that you just naturally kind of fly to those things. Often you'll see rappers do this in recorded work, which is referring popular lines, because it has the benefit of, if it's a freestyle, continuing the freestyle, as well as in enticing that reaction from others, inciting that reaction from others, continuing the songwriting if they're writing a song, continuing the actual song in and of itself, as well as reminding and or introducing listeners to the song being mentioned. You can see this a lot in sampling, which is not a part of every single hip-hop song ever, but is a huge part of many hip-hop songs, especially ones that have charted well, which is literally the sampling of a song into another song, possibly using or not using those melodies, and then from that, you're literally activating people's association with that original song if they don't have one, or priming them for that association by introducing them to it. Because a lot of times, and this is something that, like, I'll say probably many generations get dinged for, and not just in hip hop or in technically sampling of a direct song, like sampling directly the instrumental, the beat, or the melody, but even like in other genres of music where a song is built off of, or there's a callback to another song. The people who are hearing that song for the first time and have never heard the original song or the songs where the ideas are being inspired from will be like, oh, this is a new song that like this person wrote. Insert your favorite rapper here, or insert your favorite artist. And then the people who know the original song or all the iterations of the original song would be like, no, it's not. And then there's like this whole, not all the time, but possibly this disconnect where the person who has just heard this first song, which is inspired by this other song, is like, no, this is the only version of this song, and you don't know what you're talking about. And then you go and play the other song for them, and they're either like really gassed about it, or they're like, I don't care, or they're like, however, right? Some people take it as a great thing because they're like, oh, I didn't know that. So now they're like, there's other music that I can go and listen to. And then they're also excited by this song because they've heard it used in another song with someone they've already have an association with and they really care about, which is also a marketing thing, because it allows for the original songwriters, the copyright holders, and possibly if the record label, or if the copyright holders also own the record label, which then are also owners or have a part of the song, to then popularize this song as well as the new song that's being built from it. So that's like, something that you kind of just see a lot, and for a number of reasons can be very helpful. Filler words can be grown out of or augmented by consciously becoming aware of them. This is like, I guess you would call that a form of metacognition. And that basically is just how many times do you use a word, flow, sound, or ad-lib when engaging in rapping. Repeated themes in your music or in your freestyle could also be seen as a type of filler. This is the same idea of like, you're around your anime friends, so you repeatedly rap about anime. You're around your car friends, you repeatedly rap about cars. I've noticed, for me, this might not be true for everyone, by learning more about your particular type of filler, you can then have other things that are associated with that filler. So rather than like the same anime bars or the same formation of anime bars, you learn more about the writers of that anime or the illustrators of the manga or the people who are getting casted for the music. Like, and by doing that, you give yourself a bigger framework to work with off of the anime bars or the manga bars. And then from that, you can build all sorts of other associations as you continuously go back and just kind of think about, oh, that was a cool bar that I said about this anime or this manga. And it allows you not to just fall back into the same repeated versions, or even, you might notice too, you might get like 30 seconds into a rap, it's an anime bar. You might get a minute into a rap, it's an anime bar. It allows you to break also the patterns of when the bars come up, because you're paying attention to how it is that you're interacting with and introducing and using these particular bars or themes in your rap. Another version is like one of my favorite fillers is water. I don't know why, but I just really like rapping about water. So I learned about like how just a basic wave functions, which is a crest and a trough, and that just gave me something else to rap about. I learned about like characters in cartoons and animes and mangas that have water-based powers that I really like, so that gave me other ideas to build based off of water rather than the ones that I was really accustomed to doing and using. And I feel like if you go back through my music, you can probably find, and also my poetry, you can probably find a good number of like references to water in some way, shape, or form, because I don't know what it is. I just really like water. So of course, when you're wanting to go back and research on yourself what it is that you're doing consciously or subconsciously, voice recorders, recording your performances, whether that be through a DAW, just a phone camera, or once again a voice recorder. Feedback from individuals can also be really helpful. And by doing this, you can build a framework of how your rapping manifests itself from your perspective and from others' perspective, which can be really useful when you're wanting to continue to build yourself as a more versatile rapper. This doesn't mean that this is your plateau, or that filler words are bad, or that you need to get rid of all your filler words, or you can't have filler words, or if you have filler words or themes that you're a bad rapper. It's literally up to you. Like, it's not a one size fits all. It's not a if you rap this way, then you're a terrible rapper. It's just literally what do you care about, and how would you like for your rapping to manifest for yourself? And if you are someone who is wanting to perform for other rappers or other people, how do you want that to be presented to them? Many of us learned and are informed by rappers that we kind of grew up watching. So it's not a bad thing to use what it is that you learned or what it is that inspired you, which could also be a type of filler, someone else's style of rap that you've internalized, but it just allows you to change and augment that. A lot of times too, this might not even necessarily be individuals who are considered or consider themselves rappers. I've come across more than a few times now comedy records being the inspiration for many prominent rappers, or a part of the inspiration of why they started rapping, and that they themselves are now just setting to music what they heard on the comedy albums. So it's not even always too that you're gonna find the inspiration for rapping primarily just in hip-hop or in rap, because it's not like the art form or the culture in and of itself exists in a vacuum. It's connected to and a part of a bunch of many other things, and ultimately it's a part of and built upon and built with the lives of, at this point, millions upon millions of humans. So you're literally also experiencing someone's life as well as the culture, as well as the music, when you're interacting with an art form in any sense, but also an art form that's connected to hip-hop, in my opinion. Ultimately, filler words help with building your ability to rap And by going back and making note of the various ways in which you may use filler, it allows you to break, build, or change your style of rapping as you continue to practice. I think that's all I have right now for this moment. So again, your end of lesson tools, if you want to call them that, would be recording yourself or getting in front of people who are willing to give you feedback. It doesn't have to be like heavy critique or they're just tearing you up. It could literally just be like, hey, I notice around this part of the beat, you tend to do a triplet, or whenever there's a break, you tend to kind of do that triplet over the break, which is very prominent in some forms of Atlanta music and some forms of any music where people have gotten really used to triplets, because triplets actually existed before the recent resurgent in the 2000s. But you know, wherever you become aware of a certain musical technique might be where you most associate it with. So I noticed that you, like, if you trip up here, you'll slow down your flow, or you'll stop, or you might like these type of beats as opposed to these type of beats, and you find yourself more comfortable. Videos are also helpful, and so are just basic recordings of yourself, however you record them. If you want to record them through a DAW, because being able to listen back to yourself and hear how you interact with the beat can also be very helpful. Same thing with doing writtens, like just writing something and then literally looking at what do I seem to write about a lot? What do I seem to find easiest to write about? What do most of my written raps, my poetry, even my thoughts, what do I seem to cycle around and find the most easy to access? All of those things can be like very telling of what it is that you're unconsciously or subconsciously or consciously even doing. Unconsciously and subconsciously. Gonna have to look at the difference between those. Like, it's like, once again, knowing these words, but then like going back and familiarizing myself with the actual concepts and where they fit into overall what it is that I'm wanting to express, which is actually fun, because then you get to like look at what it is you're doing, because I guess that's where I'll end off at too. So freestyling, right? And I guess kind of the reason why filler words, because they may not exist for everybody, can happen, is because you get so good at a thing, you get so good at using words and necessarily knowing where it is that they fit, that you don't have to think about them anymore. You don't have to think about, oh, I said 20 times in that rap, because ultimately it's the overall idea being expressed. It's the point that you're wanting to get across. So it doesn't matter if I say and 50 times or 50 times. No one may even be consciously paying attention to that, but they understood the message that I was wanting to convey when I started rapping. And by going back and looking at the words and what they mean, or looking at my rap, or looking at the way that I use ad-libs or sounds or flows, or even the type of beats that I pick or themes, or even the people that I hang around when I rap with, can kind of inform me of what it is that I'm doing when I rap. Even also our influences, like who do we all like to listen to? Do we have certain movies that we find in common, or cars or animes? Like, all of those things can possibly give you a clue to what it is that you're doing for your filler, if you have any, and how you would change and augment it. So I think I'm gonna stop there. This has been You Just Freestyled. Thank y'all so much for tuning in, and look forward to another episode soon.
I've been fine, skyscraper high. If I don't, then it's still skies that I'm scraping by. So not scraping by, but change in my pocket. Not Obama, but Hussein. If who rain, if's the rocket. I meant hurricane. Sorry if the cane isn't socket, but I plug it back in and electricity will rock it. So it's amp, so it's guitar, so it's me on a bar. It's a note that I raise, and I feel like if I pay, then I will stay today for pays the rate. If pays a rate, then I'm okay. I raise a day to raise a village anyway. Oh, anyway, anyway. Anyway, I take it still a pass. So if I walk it, then it branches out like it should, and I laugh. Oh, gasp! If I don't get it back, it's still lost air. But going to somebody else, 'cause you know how recycling works in hair. All in my hair, but I think about if it were dairy, then it would probably be pasteurized. I don't need all of this, but I realized that if I did, that would be nice. Ooh, nice, like N-I-C-E. If I take it off and make it Napoleon Dynamite E. Dynamite E equals MC square, but I'm fine, 'cause all the matter I have matters hair. So too many analogies about past and present, but present myself another future is so evident. I'm not in Atlanta, I'm not future, but at the same damn time, I'm like 3 Stacks and an Andre in the same damn line. Yeah. That was dope. That was a dope like beat you just put on, yeah.